Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking back in on the market, and we have a lot of individual names with the same setup as we head into tomorrow. Looking at the S&P 500, we have the high of the bounce, and one thing that's certainly notable at this point is how the market has gone into complete 180s as far as euphoria, straight to fear, and then straight out of fear back to everything's just fine again. So that's been very notable, but I would not be surprised to see this daily time frame tighten up through the week. So heading into today, and what I'm going to be looking at into tomorrow as well, is looking for a daily lower high to form. And if you look at pretty much 90-95% of individual names, whether it's Netflix, Amazon, Apple, JPM, financial sector names, biotech sector names, whatever, we're looking for daily lower highs on a lot of those names. Checking where SPY is after hours. So a little bit of a pullback, but pretty much where everybody stands for the most part. Hourly uptrend still intact. Daily lower high is still intact. So strength on the short-term time frames and still in the downtrend on the longer-term time frames. So if we lose the hourly uptrends on individual names, our daily lower highs will be set and we'll be looking to tighten up. So what would not surprise me, and if I were forced to guess as to which direction we would be headed this week, I would be looking for something along these lines and a continued tightening range into next week. So tightening ranges and equilibriums are most likely after significant volatility and big moves into new price ranges. And that's obviously what we had with the weakness. And how we break from this tightening range is going to dictate significantly where momentum is headed as we head to September. It's either going to be a bull break and we're looking to all-time highs, or it's going to be a bear break and fear is going to spike again if we break this low of August. So that's where all my focus is. I'm not comfortable looking for bullish entries at this point. If you are already in bullish positions, you're very comfortable and you're watching the hourly uptrend and you have to make a decision. Am I going to sit through and swing trade through daily consolidation looking for a higher low, or am I going to look to lock in profit and then wait for the tightening range to break, or maybe look for a re-entry on a higher low? If you are looking bearish, this is what you are waiting for. You are looking at daily lower highs to be set. You're potentially putting tight stop losses. You know, if I enter bearish on SPY in the upper 292s and I put my stop in the lower 294s, I'm risking maybe $1.50, and the reward would be a pullback back to the upper 280s, and that would be a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 risk to reward scenario if you're bearish. If you're bearish longer term, you're top fishing this and then hoping we roll over eventually and lose the monthly, I should say lose the August low, which would be a great entry. So it's a clear setup as far as, you know, whichever direction you're looking in, there's opportunities to make trades based on those outlines. IWM, just looking for a daily lower high compared to 150.179, closed near the low of the day. So if we break that low of 149.95, the pullback will be on, our new daily lower high will be set, and we'll be looking for a higher low compared to 144.79. QQQ, stronger, as we've been noting in as far as sectors go. 189.68 resistance. If we lose the hourly uptrend, which right now the bulls are hoping the end of the day is an hourly higher low, if we see a higher open tomorrow from where we closed, 187.99 is our hourly higher low. If we see a lower open, the low of today is the key support level. But we're watching to see, are we going to lose the hourly uptrend before the bulls can break 189.68 to stay in the tightening range? XLF is weaker. It already dropped to a lower low. Anything under 27.17 is a lower high. We topped out at 27.03 today, started to pull back, closed near the low of the day. So if we break the low of 26.79 tomorrow, daily lower high will be set, and we'll be looking for a higher low in the mid 26s. XLV, all about resistance of 92.17. Everything that I've just said in all the other names applies to XLV as well. And for XBI, anything under 84.63 is just a lower high. Hourly uptrend for the bulls to maintain pretty much the low of the day. Again, depends on where we open tomorrow, whether we get a new hourly higher low for individual names with their afternoon consolidation, or if we start with that consolidation still following through and it's the low of day that's key support. So tomorrow's open will determine which key hourly support level we're looking at, but lots of correlation for individual names. And that's another thing that happens. Significant correlations pick up between individual sectors and names when this kind of volatility spike happens and then it settles down like we've been seeing. The VIX here is down near the lows, and obviously we haven't broken bullish yet on these other sectors, but 1680 was the low, and we dropped down today below that level. So that's a notable indication where we have that lower high and lower low. Again, I don't expect a ton of further downside. Worth watching TVIX and UVXY for a short-term move. We'll just be looking for the VIX to set a daily lower high, but that's something we're going to be looking for in the next day or two. One more note on volume. Didn't talk about SPY's low volume, and that's because bulls have shown me since 2017 that bulls do not need volume to make this market go up. So that is not important to me. Bears have to see volume to go down. They have to prove it, but bulls don't need volume to go up. And that's something that I learned years ago and stopped paying much attention, specifically for the S&P 500. Individual names, it still matters to me, but not for the S&P 500 or for SPY as a whole here. Gold is going to get interesting. So I'm watching gold for the 12-hour equilibrium, where we have our high and low on the same candle from last Wednesday. Our lower high has been set, and now it's a playoff support as the bulls are looking for a higher low. We have to change the hourly trend for the indication that our 12-hour higher low has been established. We saw a solid bounce today, but gave it all back. So we need an hourly trend change to then say the 12-hour higher low has been set, and I expect these 12-hour ranges to tighten, just like I expect the S&P 500 to tighten, but I would be looking for this range to tighten into probably, at this point, probably Thursday, towards the end of the week, if the bulls can show up. We need to see the bulls show up ideally tomorrow, and that means keeping an eye out for a play on gold and on the bull miners. We want to see the dollar lose the 4-hour uptrend and see gold form a 12-hour higher low, but there's a potential play off of 1479 support for gold only plays to be bottom fishing. We've got silver in the same setup. So silver on the 12-hour chart. A little bit more space for the bulls to work with. High, low, lower high, scouting a higher low here. A lot of space to work with. Hourly trend change could not follow through today. And I have not looked at XAU, XAG in a while. Let's see where that stands. Daily range is still real tight. Key support down at 87.39, 87.33. So a little double bottom of support. And anything under 89.53 is just a lower high. So still in a very tight range. Things are getting exciting in the sense that we're going to keep tightening up, but there's going to be a lot of breaks of tightening ranges here coming up end of August, early September. And we'll see which direction this break occurs. Best case scenario for precious metal bulls would be a clear break of this pattern one direction or the other, which would dictate playing bullish on gold or silver. One thing to keep in mind is this pattern can break in either direction, with gold and silver breaking bullish or bearish. If gold and silver both break bearish and silver dumps harder than gold, this chart is going to break bullish because it's relative strength of gold versus silver. So just because a break occurs here doesn't mean that the break of the underlying is either bullish or bearish. We have to be looking at both charts to get the complete picture. But a nice picture is shaping up. Bull miners had a really nice play today. Volatility, again, I cannot speak enough to the day trading volatility of this sector, where the bull miners, the leveraged ETF here, we went 8% to the upside and then pulled back about 5% to the downside. And again, as a trader, I personally am just looking for 1 to 2% moves. So knowing that an 8% move is there, I don't have to be anywhere near the bottom or the top to get a solid 2-3% move out of that. And of course, in the other direction as well. So best case for the bull miners would be an hourly trend change. Have to break the high of today tomorrow, and that's possible if we get an hourly trend change on gold and we get the 12-hour higher low established. So I'm scouting bull miners for the 12-hour higher low in precious metals sometime soon, probably tomorrow. Keeping a close eye out for it. Oil Still in the middle of the range. I don't care what oil does as long as we're in between 50.59 and 60.91. That's the range that I have to see break before I'm interested. And again, we've been talking about September for the time that we're expecting a break, and that's just a guess as to what we're looking at for the tightening range. And it looks like that's where we could end up if the bulls follow through and we set a lower high in the upper 50s and then pull back for a higher low in the lower 50s. That's something we're watching. And again, if we get a break of both oil and natural gas at the same time in the same direction, that's going to be a good move for the 3 times leveraged ETFs of DRIP and Gush. The commodity space is providing a lot of nice setups. They're not act now setups, but I could be, if I were only trading these commodity setups, I could have a very full August and September in terms of action. Just waiting on some tightening ranges, expecting some tightening ranges to break in the near term. Natural gas, bulls setting a daily higher low today at 213.8, and they have to see a break of 227 to change this daily trend with a higher low and then a higher high, keeping in mind that we can change the daily trend bullish and still form a weekly lower high. So I personally am putting more weight into the weekly time frame as that's the most important to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to break bullish. I wouldn't be surprised to have to see our shoulder, our head form, lower high compared to 250, and then a right shoulder to form a higher low and then try and change the trend. That's going to be something I'm watching for, and it would pretty much require significant bull volume and a move out of nowhere to just rip through 250 and break the lower high pattern. I don't think that's the most likely scenario, especially coming off of the low. So we may get, again, September, if we see a little bit more follow through, set a lower high maybe next week, end of August, pull back for a higher low early September, and then look for that break mid-September. Lots to watch in the commodity space. Lots to watch in the stock world. We'll be watching it. Do good things out there. Thanks for tuning in. Got some clips from the end of the video here. We've got some clips from the meetup. Thanks to one of our members, Step 2, for taking that footage. And we'll have more clips coming throughout the week as people get home and share things. So thanks for tuning in. Had a blast with everybody. Looking forward to doing multiple meetups in the near term. Well, multiple meetups a year at this point. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night.